It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Whether you're managing a work team, heading up an organization, or being a parent to your child, effective leadership is crucial to achieving your desired outcome. For decades, today's guest, Dr. Ken Blanchard, has influenced the day-to-day management of people and companies. Through his speeches, consulting services, and books, Dr. Blanchard is one of the most influential leadership experts in the world. His 1982 classic, The 1 Minute Manager, co-authored with Spencer Johnson, has sold more than 13 million copies and remains on bestseller lists today. He has authored or co-authored 60 books and has recently released the new 1 Minute Manager with updated information reflecting today's changing world. Welcome, Dr. Blanchard. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Joan. It's good to be with you all.
So, Ken, we're all leaders, be it at work or at home. We have a job to do, and we work toward that end. What do you believe are some of the biggest mistakes we make when trying to lead?
Well, I think the biggest mistake that people make is that they go from a tell you what to do, this is what I want you to do, and then they disappear and go to a delegating leadership style until you make a mistake, and then they fly in, make a lot of noise, dump on everybody, and fly out. The biggest thing about leadership is that you need to constantly be observing what people are doing so you can praise progress, so you can redirect them. You can't just disappear.
So, Ken, what can result from being an effective leader?
One of the things that can result, of course, is turnover. The biggest reason that people leave jobs is they want to leave their manager. And so performance is going to be held back. All kinds of things can happen. So it's really so important, whether you're leading at home or in an organization or in a nonprofit or community, that's why I think the 1 Minute Manager helped people, because it wasn't all that complicated, I believe in the 80-20 rule, 80% of what you want to have happen comes from about 20% of what you focus on. And so the first thing you need to remember as a leader or manager is, are the goals clear? Are people clear in what they're being asked to do? All good performance starts with clear goals, and then you want to observe and wander around and see if you can catch them doing something right. So our second secret is 1 minute praising, which is, saying, gee, I just saw what you did and the progress you're making. I just want to tell you how good it makes me feel, and I appreciate your efforts and all. I think people love to get caught doing things right.
Well, Ken, we have so many external stresses in the world today that we didn't have when you first wrote your book, The 1 Minute Manager. So now you've updated your book. What have you found to be some of the biggest changes that impact the way we interact with others?
The whole supervision is much more dynamic now, and people are coming and going, and they're in different parts of the country, and so we really put that into play. And also, I felt as I read it that it was a little top-down, even though the secrets are important, so that I think people really want a leader who is kind of believes in side-by-side leadership rather than top-down, so that doesn't mean that you have their job, but that that they're got your back covered and they're on your team. And then one of the biggest changes, we changed the third secret, which was the 1 minute reprimand to 1 minute redirects, which is much more consistent with the side-by-side relationship. So if you observe somebody and it's not progressing the way you wanted or the way you had envisioned with the goals, you say to them, gee, here's what I'm observing. What do you think? Are you observing the same thing? And, what I want to know is, if that's true, how can I get you back on track and all? And so it's constantly being there to praise progress as well as redirect efforts when they're in the wrong direction.
An effective leader is only as good as the people that he or she is surrounded by. So how can a good leader get others to tap into their potential? What advice do you offer to help someone empower another person?
Well, first of all, you want to be looking for good people, but you also, if you got a good vision and a set of values for the company, you really want to make sure that people will fit into your culture and your team and what you're trying to do. And then what you got to do is look at what are their goals and objectives, what are their job responsibilities, and recognize that you not only want different strokes for different folks, but you want different strokes for the same folks on different parts of their job. Because one of the biggest problems I see in managers and parents and all, I see use the same leadership style all the time. Well, if you got somebody who's really good at the financial part of their job, well, you can probably delegate there, but maybe they're not so good at the interpersonal. Well, you better work with them more closely there. So you have to use not only different strokes for different folks, but different strokes for the same folks on different parts of their job.
Ken, one of the things that I notice a lot with people that I come in contact with, and it's something that I find very frustrating, when you're dealing with that person who always has an excuse for something, there's always a reason why he or she didn't achieve the goal or do what was promised. What advice do you offer to help leaders help that person overcome the mindset of always coming up with that excuse, to move past that?
Well, one thing is you can tell your group we have a no excuse policy, If not working, don't tell me the reason why, unless it's something that we can fix. But I don't want an excuse. Let's turn the thing around. And if you got somebody who keep on excusing, you can kind of say to them, look, I just don't appreciate this, And if they keep on doing it, then my friend Gary Ridge, who's the president of WD-4, he says, you might have to share them with the competition.
Well, and I find that these people usually live their life that way. It's not just at work. There's an excuse for everything in their life.
You're really right. People are finding excuses. They find excuses for everything.
Ken, you've been doing this for a long time. From everything you've learned over the years, if you could sum it all up, what makes a strong leader?
Well, I think what really makes a strong leader is three things from my standpoint. And I call it, the first one is the servant part of leadership, which is the elevator speech is, it's not about you, And so the great leaders realize it's not about them, it's about the people that they gather around them. The second is the steward, which is you don't own anything. You don't own your people. You don't own your finances. You don't know. It's all on loan. And how are you stewarding what's on loan to you? And then finally, I talk about the shepherd, which is every human being is important. And I think that the people who are really good leaders have kind of that servant heart and realize it's not about them. Everything's on loan. And boy, everybody's important.
The book is The New 1 Minute Manager. If you would like to get more information about Ken and his work, you can visit his website, kenblanchard.com. Ken, thank you so much for being here and for sharing strategies to help us be effective leaders. I want to give you the final word. What's the takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the takeaway is it's not about you. It's about your people. And how do you bring out the best in them? So you work for them. They don't work for you once the goals are set. So what can you do to help them win? What can you do to help them be the best that they can possibly be?
Ken, again, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to having you come back.
Well, good. Thank you so much, Joan. Take care of yourself.
We'll be right back. Hi, Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.